Today, we're talking about the simplest ways to get to know your market better, whether that market is a virtual market or a local market. Let's jump right into it. All right, so the first thing we want to do is head over to Google. And what we're going to do is start with the whole city, with the whole county, or if you already know the zip code that you want to be in or want to get familiar with, go ahead and type that in. But for this, I'm going to go ahead and just type Miami zip codes. And let's see what we get. All right, so let me just randomly pick one. Now I would normally start at the very top and go right down the line. But for this particular example, let me just pick this zip code right here. All right, so right off the bat, I can see that it's a more exclusive area of Miami, and that's not a place I want to be wholesaling, right? So I'm going to be going back to my zip code list and just pick the next one. Let me pick this one, 33150. So this looks more like it just from looking at this and looking at this right here. All right. Before I get into PropStream or anything else, I'll just quickly check out what cities I'm looking at here: Miami, El Portal, West Little River, Pinewood, Lakeview. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on the map, and I can see here this zip code is highlighted in the red border here. I can zoom in a little bit more. And what I want to do now is start from one of the corners. And what I'm going to do is just go right into the neighborhood and start driving around and just start checking things out. All right, so right out of the gate, I can see that this has potential for wholesaling. So what I want to do is just drive around a little bit and explore the neighborhood. We make a left here. All right, this is looking good. Let me now show you how to take one of these properties and then head over to PropStream. And what I'm going to do is pop this property right into PropStream right here. And I know it's the right one because it's got the zip code 33150. And what I want to do real quickly is just look at how old this property is. Right here, 1946. So it's a relatively old property, which is good. Now, you don't want to go too old, but you don't want to go too recent either. Anything 1980 or older is good. The sweet spot may be somewhere between 1950 and 1980, but this is a subjective matter. This can go either way, depending on the neighborhoods that you're looking at and depending on what you're going after. All right, so if I just keep driving around, I'll have a good sense of what this neighborhood is all about. And I can see here that there are some semi-distressed properties. Nothing real super clear that I'd want to tag yet, but definitely wholesalable for sure. You know, this neighborhood would just be a matter of going through street by street and looking at everything one street at a time. The nice thing here is that there's properties like this which have been renovated. So anytime you have those amongst the older properties, it's a good thing, right? We want those types of properties because it brings the value of our distressed properties up. All right, so this is definitely a neighborhood that I'd want to wholesale, right? Now, if I go into here, I can see some general stats for the neighborhood as well. And I can see right here on my in my main categories here, just roughly in this area, how many foreclosures I have, liens, vacants, high equity, bank-owned auctions, and cash buyers. So this looks like a decent place to wholesale. And now what I want to do is every day hit up a different zip code. All right, so if I go back to my Miami zip code list, let me just go back here and pull that list up again. What I want to do tomorrow, for instance, is just hit up the next zip code, right? And eventually I'll finish out my city or my county, and I'll have a good feel for what type of city market I'm looking at. Just by driving around, just by looking at some stats, just by looking at some demographics, and more importantly, by looking at specific things like the age of the properties that I'm driving around through. All right, and again, if it's older, if it's somewhere between 30 and 60 years old, it's got potential for wholesaling. You don't want to go anything newer, and you don't want to go too old. All right, so do this exercise and do it over and over. And if you are in the actual market, if you actually live in the market, feel free to do this physically. In other words, go ahead and drive around and see what's out there, if you have the means and if you have the time. Otherwise, this is a great way just to get on Google and then cross-check your properties on PropStream. All right. Now, speaking of PropStream, if you haven't gotten PropStream, go ahead and go to gopropstream.com and get your free trial. I think you'll like it. Otherwise, there are free tools out there that you can use instead of PropStream, but PropStream is a real good tool. All right, guys. I hope this helps. Try this, and you'll see how you'll become more and more familiar with the markets that you're contemplating or the markets that you're already in. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, and if you have any questions, if you have any comments, go ahead and do that below. All right, see you guys next time. Thank you.